Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today is a little bit of a special video because I've never tried anything from this brand before. This is the Be Mine palette from Sydney Grace. And there are two palettes. One is light and one is dark. And if you can believe it, this is the light one. Now when I looked at the swatches on her site, I really didn't see much of a difference between the light and dark. And while I was very attracted to this, initially I was thinking I'm not going to do it because there's so much darkness here. And when you have smaller eyes or hooded eyes or you're getting older, dark colors can really be hard looking. They can make your eyes look smaller instead of bigger. And I thought, maybe not. But when Tamara was here, I know eventually I'll stop talking about this trip, but it was very fruitful. She had brought to me a handful of her Sydney Grace, and she said you need to give these a try, and I've been playing around with them, and I think they're so lovely, these shadows, that I went ahead and got this. And also I needed the content, let's be honest. But this whole area right here is super dark. When I got it, I realized that the top row is just a great neutral row. Take out the shimmers and just go for the mattes. The middle row is just a mauve story, and the bottom row are the specials. So if you haven't been here before, usually I like to do my swatches not by row but by color story, because you can see that way what goes with what. Oh, this would be good with this color, and you can also see what's redundant, where there's not enough of a change to warrant having two particular colors. But in this case, I really think that she laid it out, you know, as it should be laid out. But I am going to make a couple of changes. So I'm going to do this row without the silver, I think. So here it is, you guys, and while it might seem warm if you focus on this, if you take this away, I would say this is neutral to cool and, you know, black. Well, it's not quite black. It's a very deep brown that is, I don't know, neutral to cool. And now this row. So the first one is a Shimmer Matte, 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 and Shimmer. I'm not even sure if it's called a shimmer. That's just what I'm calling it. Here they are. Now, of course, let's try doing it this way, you guys. So this is very interesting because this color seems to have a lot of warmth to it, even though when you look at the palette you think, well, that's a mauve story. If you don't employ this one and you just do everything else, I think you get more of a neutral story that kind of is not as purple. And then the last row, and I think this color could go in the last row because there's no mattes here except for the matte black. So this is the four colors aside from the matte black. Wow. Hello. These are really pretty. Darn. We're going to do a look with some of these. I'm just kind of concerned it's not going to be all that fantastic on me. Like if my face were 20 years younger, it would probably look good, but in my experience, when I've tried, like I did something, I haven't edited it or posted it, with the Paris à Trois, and I used some of those darker colors, and I thought it looked so amazing, except when you attach it to my face, it just looks incredibly wrong. So I'm a little concerned about this one, but let's get into a couple of looks, and this is one of them, and then we'll finish off with the last one. So today we're going to do the center row, and I'm going to start with Soul Matters all over the eye. And this is another one that looks a little bit different on the lid. It's a little more colorful on the lid. I thought this would be more pastel. So far, you guys, I think these perform so beautifully. There's no fallout. I do knock my brush off, but they just blend in beautifully, and there's beautiful pigmentation in here. And now, Darling. And I'm going to put this where I would have a crease if I had one. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. I think I'm going to try this technique that I used to do once in a while. I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm not going to do a dark color on the outside here to deepen up, because that can make the eye look a little smaller and close things up. Instead, I'm kind of doing a little bit of a wing, if you will, and leaving the lid blank. Even this eye, which is such a very difficult eye for me because my tear duct gland protrudes, it's right here, and it's particularly crepey in the area as well, and it's hard to get color to adhere right there, but above that, where it's very, very crepey, seems to be just working well. Just look at that one dip, and color is still going. Really, really impressive. The Refer 30 for Pucker Up, and I'm just going to run this around the lash line, and you can push color up here as well. Let's see if it stays. Anything left? Just a little bit under the eye. Now what's interesting to me is when I'm looking at this mirror here, which is more than an arm's length away, I'm not really getting all that much mauve. Even though these tones are definitely of the mauvey range, I don't know. It's not as purpley, which it isn't necessarily a bad thing, because purple can be a little less natural and a little more boom in your face, and while it's there is an odd warmth to this as well. Tell me if you see it, or if I am losing my ability to see color. I'm just going to take this Ray Morris brush, and it's the only Ray Morris brush I have, so the link is down below for that, and just do a really soft blend. Maybe if I bring this color up a little bit, it will look a little bit more mauve. So whatever color this is, I think it looks beautiful. I do wish that there was a color in here, as I do for all palettes, that is just a cream. So if something is too high, and I don't want to go in with my concealer brush and clean it up, because that leaves a sharp look, and oftentimes I much prefer to have something that is more blown out like this, where it's a softer look, but it's gone too high. If I had something cream, I could just kind of buff that out with something cream and lower it down a little bit. Now for shimmers in this row, I'll just swatch these for you again. We have this one and this one. This is what they look like. So my choices are pretty impactful and dark. Such a pretty color though. Or this lighter color that will bring lightness to the area where you're putting it, and I kind of, prefer to do light. So I am going to go in with Flirty, and this is the Sonia G soft shader, and just to help open the eye. It's very, very pretty. Now personally, I like the eye the way it was, but I certainly want to show you what these look like in case, that's something that is interesting to you. It's not too much color, it's not too much shimmer, so it's subtle enough for me. I should show you what this color looks like. So I'm going to take it up with the same brush. And this is Cupid. And I'm just going to put it on the lid. I'm not going to bring that darkness to the outside. So I'm just going to put it more like the center of the lid, and chances are very, very high that it will transfer up here. So I just put a little something something on. I'm going to take the Refer 01, which is more dense because it's goat. It has more heft to it. And I'm just going to work on blending this again. And I'm going to be a little bit rough with it, hoping that I might actually take off some of that color to make it look a little more subtle. I don't think I did. And I'm just going to do finishing touches, you know, a little concealer right here, some brows, some lashes, and I'll do the lip and we'll do a final look. And you know what, you guys, I'm already wearing some blush and it is quite light, but I like that because the eye look is soft and yet it's defined, and I kind of like the juxtaposition with a light complexion, and I'm even doing a light lip, so just my natural lip with this Westman Atelier on top of it for just a little bit of shine and freshness and comfort. And I think it's a lovely little spring look. I find that it's interesting. It didn't look incredibly mauvey or purpley to me until I added this one. Really interesting. It doesn't look like what you think it is. Hello! Do not adjust your TV screen. And please don't watch me on TV. I'm testing a foundation. It's a 3-day wear test, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the foundation, I'm going to cut away, do the eyes, and then I'll go back to the foundation, and then we'll do the blush and the whole bit to see what this foundation, how this foundation reacts to other products. But this color is scary. And I was going to change my shirt into something lower, and I thought, well, that's really not going to be a look. So this is going to be day 2 of the Cindy Grace palette, but it's actually day 1. And I think a safe bet, considering the color going on in my face, is the top row and kind of go for the neutrals. All mine. So I have not primed my lids and I haven't powdered them. So I just kind of took off my excess moisturizer and concealer that might have gotten up there. And despite that, it's okay. But as you saw, I didn't really blend so much as I kind of did this, but it looks fine. And then I'm going to go in with Love Me. So same brush, but I cleaned it off. Ooh, it's a little darker than I thought it might be. So while I'm kind of doing where my crease would be if I had one, I do wonder if it might be a teeny bit too dark for that kind of placement. So again, I'm not really blending it, I'm just putting it where I want it to be. Okay, so let me go ahead and try my, I think this is a Ray Morris brush, and just kind of do some circles here. Blending out just beautifully. And today's really quite a test because the eyes are just a little bit tacky from everything else. Wow, I really, really like these, you guys. With a Rever 03, I'm going in with Romance. I don't want to go too dark, so I'm just going to put this by the lash line. Here's Lucy. So this to me is, you know, do my brows, put on mascara, and it's a fantastic everyday look. There are a couple of shimmers in here that I feel like, oh gee, I should try these, and then the other part is, why ruin a good thing? One is silver, one is gold. This gold, depending on how you're looking at it, seems to have a slightly greenish tint, as if it is an antique gold. And I'm going to do my brows and mascara, and we'll, you know, come back and show you the final look after I've done the rest of my face. All right, you guys, I am back. I put on my products and they will be listed down below. I really, really like this eye look. I know it's simple, and there's a part of me that says, what's wrong with that? Why does it have to be 15 different colors and 20 minutes to do the eye? What's wrong with it? Just took me a few minutes and it looks really good. I say nothing. I feel like I can go out in the world if it weren't for the fact that foundation is just terribly, terribly wrong for me. And I really, really, really like this. Just for shits. I would not do this in real life, but maybe we'll go on with the gold. So this is a Hakuhodo, and this color is called Baby Cheeks. My eyes are starting to water, you guys. I know that in much of the country it is still the dead of winter, but here things are blooming. And we had some really decent summer-like heat for several days. And I feel that I'm about to start one of my better allergy years. It just feels like this is going to be a big allergy year, which doesn't make sense because it didn't rain this much this year. So I just put a little bit on because I don't want, you know, I want it to be for every day, just a little something something. And it is absolutely pretty. And the way I've applied it, it just kind of puts a sheen in that area. It's not aggressive. All right, back in a flash, and we're going to approach the other two rows. Now for the last look, I was thinking I might not even do anything because I don't think I'd be doing any favors to this palette or to you. But these colors are so pretty that I want to find a way to utilize them. But instead of taking off what I have, because my eyes are super sensitive today, some days they are, some days they aren't, I'm just going to work with what I have. This color right here is calling to me. It's one of those shades that will be really dark on the lid unless the light hits it, and then it's actually kind of light. So let's see if I can kind of put this almost all over the lid. This is so beautiful. It just seems to change its color. It's kind of green, it's kind of silver, but it's definitely beautiful. But for me, I feel like this is most certainly a night kind of thing. But I do wonder, is this the kind of color that you could just put all over and it would be a one and done? For some eye shapes, I think it could be. Wow, that is so pretty, I can't get over it. Good Lord. I want to pull you in. This color is doing something for the color of my eyes that is insane. If you have hazel eyes, this is something, I don't know if this is going to translate over camera, but if you have hazel eyes, hazel green, because there's hazel blue and hazel gray, you need to try this. Although, hazel gray, you need to try this too. I'm going to do the same brush with Crush on You, which I would love to hum a few bars, but I can't. And I'm going to put this in the center. This could be a major mistake. It looks like there's some lightness to this on my arms, so I thought, I don't know, I think this is a mistake. It's too dark for what I'm doing, but we're there. I'm just going to put a little bit over. While I'm here, I'm just going to do I Love You, but I'm just going to put it on the edge. Beautiful. If you have an eye that is larger than mine and you can take, deepening up on the edge, it doesn't make your eyes look really small. Stunning. It's, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the fabric lame. I think what I want to do is clean up a little bit on the inner corner with a Q-tip because it's a little bit dark. And then I'm going to take a clean flat brush and go back in with that color that I put in here initially from the last tutorial, this one right here. Because somehow I messed that up. And I really need some lightness right here. Not quite doing it for me. But I am going to take a little blending brush and blend away. So I think it's fine the way it is. I just want to see how this will blend, the edges might blend on this. So here's my initial application where it's a little bit more sharp, and here it is blended. These are really nice shadows. They're very easy to work with. I almost have a cat eye going on this eye, not so much on this one. Yeah, I just feel like something goes wrong with me when I use these dark colors, and it looks like I have dark eyeshadow all over my face, and I don't think I do. Yeah. Okay, for me, no. I just cannot do these dark colors. I just can't. And I wish to God, you know, if somebody's going to make something that has a light version and a dark version, they actually make the light version light. How about that? Now I'm angry. Can you feel my anger? Because I'm so frustrated that it's just not going to work on me. That color is so, so pretty, and the more I touch it, the more awful it gets, and suddenly it looks like I have darkness. I put eyeshadow under my eyes, which I didn't, and all this darkness under my eyes, and I'm so angry now. So, what do I think about these shadows? I think they're really, really good. What do I think about this palette? The color story. I think it's not for me. I don't think I'll really pull to this, honestly. This is surprising. It's not as cool as I thought it would be, which is fine. I have enough cool. I don't need more cool. It's fine. It's lovely. Maybe I will surprise myself and go to it. This brown row, fine, lovely. I love that look. Great for every day. I recently got the Chantecaille, which I've been using so much, just that one color, honestly. But I kind of feel like I may already have a brown that I can just put on and go, and that brown is a little bit of a better color for me. And then these, they're lovely. They're just totally not usable for me. I see them here on the arm and I think, these are so beautiful. It's like jewel tones, but not jewel tones. This on my eye is so special. And if I had left it alone at that, I might have been happier. But I wanted to show you what this would look like, so I added a couple of more shades. I wonder if I did just this alone, it would be okay. I know if I did just this alone, it would be okay. Same with all of these, just those alone, and they would be one and dones with maybe a little bit something behind it to, you know, give myself a crease, give myself some definition, and leave it at that, maybe. So I think the shadows are lovely. I think I've told you everything that I think. Good shadows. The color story, I get it, but it's not 100% workable for someone like me. The darks are too dark. This is the light palette, so that's strange to me that they didn't lighten it up some more. I'm glad I have it, and we'll see. I don't know. This might be a palette that I will surprise myself with, and I'll pull to it all the time. But I have a feeling it won't be. It won't be that. We'll see. You guys, I think it's really well worth considering taking a look at her website to see if there are singles that you're interested in. I know I'm going to be buying some singles, and I'm glad to have started a collection, some kind, from Sydney Grace. And that's going to wrap up this video for me. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.